It has been Christmas and I hope you've all had a wonderful time. We had quite a chilled out one this year. It was just me, my dad, my stepmom and Mark. So we had a nice quiet one at home and it was nice and relaxed. And it was probably exactly what I needed as our last Christmas before all the mayhem next year, which will then be, because we alternate Christmases, next year will then be at Mark's family, so it's a lot bigger Christmas. And actually I'm really looking forward to it, like with then the little one as well. It'll just be, yeah, it'll just be a really big Christmas. So it'll be lovely. But I've seen all these different videos pop up on YouTube as to what people have got over Christmas. So I thought I would do a, what does a pregnant woman get for Christmas? And the answer is probably very similar to what I've got this year. So without further ado, I'll show you exactly what I got. So first up, the ultimate thing for any pregnant lady is pure comfort, to be perfectly honest. I was always someone who got into her PJs as soon as I got back from work. That was always normal for me before being pregnant. But even more so now, because to be perfectly honest, clothes can get quite uncomfortable. So the major thing that you want is to be comfortable. And PJs I've actually really been struggling on. So from my sister, or one of my sisters, I've got two. I actually got some maternity pyjamas. These were from Boohoo and they say coming soon on the top, so that then sits just on your bump. I've also got some bottoms, they're legging style, but these are actually my normal size, but sizing for maternity wear is really bizarre. I don't know if anyone else has found this, or whether it's just because at the beginning of my pregnancy I lost quite a bit of weight for whatever reason, and I actually went down a dress size even though my bump, although I was actually getting fatter, which is really bizarre. So this is my normal pyjama size and they're actually coming up quite big on me, but that's not a bad thing because let's be honest, I'm going to be getting bigger. That's already a given. So these will be absolutely fine as I go into it. I could get away with them now because they're pyjamas, so it doesn't matter if they're slightly slouchy. But yeah, in time, I'm sure they will get even tighter. But having a look on Boohoo, they seem to be quite good for maternity wear. So yeah, and it was a really thoughtful gift. And that's kind of what's come through with all the maternity gifts. People have actually really thought, which has been really, really nice. But yeah, so that was my first one. I was well chuffed with. So I got my first lot of maternity gym jams. Second up, on the same theme, my mum got me some kind of legging, tracksuit, jogger type things. So these were from New Look. Again, mum got me a size small, so I am now a size 10. So I believe these are an 8 to 10. However, when I try them on, they are still quite big for me, but that's fine. I don't like legging-y style stuff. I don't mind it for clothes, but actually to slouch in, just because I don't like showing all my lumps and bumps to anyone in case the postman comes to the door. Although I don't mind wearing leggings out, so that doesn't compute, does it? Oh yeah, but then you're normally wearing a long top or something like that. So actually with joggers, excuse me, you'll find the further on in pregnancy you get, the more out of breath you also get. But yeah, either way, these are slightly looser. The panel, like your bump panel at the front, I do find still quite big on me. But to be honest, everyone's bump is really different, and so it's really difficult in maternity clothes. But it's fine, I can fold it over, and they fit comfy as anything. And then as the bump gets bigger, I've then got room to expand. So I was well chuffed with these. I can wear these in the evening just for the hoodie. Yeah, and be nice and cozy. From my mum as well, Sanctuary Spa is one of my favourite toiletry brands. I love Soap and Glory. And I had to watch what I said on Christmas Day, because as I opened this set from my mum, which is a Sanctuary set, and not just any Sanctuary set, a mum-to-be Sanctuary set, so I'll go into this a little more detail. But as I opened it up, I said, oh yay, it's my favourite toiletry brand. And Mark went, I I thought Soap and Glory was your favourite toiletry band after he'd spent and got me loads of Soap and Glory, probably for the same reason. Which I do like Soap and Glory. I just prefer their skincare and actual like bath stuff. I prefer Sanctuary, but I do love Soap and Glory nonetheless, so that will never ever go to waste. But one of the key things I have been loving is a nice hot bath. I've been having issues with my pelvis, and I get sciatica at the moment as well, so I've been in quite a bit of pain, and mobility is beginning to be a lot harder for me. So by having a bath, the water actually creates that weightless feeling, so that kind of eases the joints, and also the heat really, really helps. So these kind of things, for me, are incredible. In the box, you get one of them floofy things that no one actually uses. But you also get some stretch mark oil. I've got some cooling leg and foot gel. So that's meant to help when you get in, fidgety legs, which I do get in the evenings, and you do get later on in pregnancy as well. I've also got some body butter, so that will help across the stomach also, and some nice bath soap. So I think that's a posh word for bubble bath, but that I'm really looking forward to using. So yeah, again, if you know of any mums to be, if you can figure out their favourite toiletry band, they are bound to do like a mum to be kit like this, or it's certainly something that perhaps you could potentially build for them, to kind of help, just as a nice thoughtful gift really. One of the YouTubers that I watch, although I actually know her more as an author than as a YouTuber, she just happens to do YouTube videos as well, is Giovanna Fletcher. So Giovanna Fletcher, for anyone who doesn't know, is the wife of Tom Fletcher from McFly. Tom Fletcher was in McFly before they then broke up. But he's also an author. He does children's books. He's also done adult books. And Giovanna Fletcher is also an author and does a lot of kind of chick lit kind of books. So I've read her before. But her YouTube videos are very much mum life based. But she has released a mum book. One of my sisters has bought me that. It's called Happy Mum, Happy Baby. And it's kind of her journey through motherhood. And she's not kind of held back. I only started reading it last night, and it's one of them books so far of, oh, I'll just read one more chapter, or I'll just go a bit more, and before I knew it, it was like 12:30, 1:15. I was like, oh, I need to put this down. I'm going to be dead tomorrow. But even in the opening kind of entry, she is very honest in the fact of loads of people will give you advice, take what you like, chuck what you don't, research all the rest. This is her personal journey. And she hasn't found it easy either, so she's quite open to the fact that she's got polycystic ovary syndrome, so it was something I could relate to, and she very sadly had a miscarriage as well, and she kind of documents that right at the beginning, and I actually found myself sitting there sobbing because you could the way she writes it, you could completely relate. But she's going to go through all the trials and tribulations of feeding, of weaning, of the sleepless nights, the best bits, the bad bits, all those kind of things. And it makes you laugh out loud. So far I am loving this. There's loads of different books like this. So you've got like the Unmumsy Mum. There's another one by a midwife, I can't remember. Hurrah for Gin, who I went to see. Her book's kind of along these kind of lines. But again, if you know someone who is expecting, something like this is fantastic, because the opening line is, you know, basically we're all in this together. There are going to be days when you're going to be pulling your hair out thinking, what the hell have I done? Am I doing this right? And the answer is you are, because you're going to be always doing something that you think is the best. So, yeah, thoroughly love this. So thank you, Abby, for that. A really thoughtful gift off a friend of mine, and it really made me laugh, was this new parents survival kit. So it was a little kit just like that, and inside it lists everything and what you're going to need it for. So I had an elastic band for when you're stretched to the limit, marbles to replace the ones that you're going to lose, a piece of Velcro for when you need to get a grip, wiggly eyes, an extra pair for the back of your head, a peg for the smelly nappies, a penny so you'll never be broke, a button to press in times of panic, 2 mints to remind you that your job as a parent is worth at least one, candy watch to remind you to enjoy every minute, and finally 2 lots of coffee to keep you awake during those sleepless nights. And it really just made me laugh, and it's a really thoughtful gift, so thank you, Emma, for that. And it's certainly something I would recommend for you to give to other new mums. One of the most unusual gifts that I got was actually from my granddad, and he is renowned for buying weird and wonderful things, and I'd love to sometimes understand what goes through his head. However, this year's Weird and Wonderful ones, he got me and my 2 sisters exactly the same thing, apart from for me, this is probably far more useful than for them. And it is a body-sized hot water bottle, which is brilliant. So again, like I said, I've been suffering from my pelvis, and I've been dying to get this out, but I wanted to film this video before I have. But for me, this will be fantastic because I can actually like fill it up and then wrap it around my hips. Whereas at the moment, if I do decide to take a hot water bottle to bed because I'm really struggling, and you have to, past a certain point, you have to lay on your left-hand side, so the baby is as close to the placenta as possible. You're not allowed to lay on your back. But if I lay on my left, and it's my right hip or pelvis that is causing the issue, I can try and balance the hot water bottle on there, and if I'm really clever, I can do it, and it will stay for about a minute until I cough or sneeze, or Mark then gets into bed and it then falls off. Whereas something like this, I can actually then wrap around me, and it's going to be really, really useful. But for anyone else who's in a similar position, I was thinking of getting one of them. I think they're like lavender heat packs, because again, they're mouldable. So I have a hot water bottle at the moment, and that is great when I'm sitting on the sofa or when I'm at work, and I'm just sitting in my chair. But if you're in a position where actually you need to mould it over something, so potentially like a joint, a knee, a hip, a shoulder, all those kind of things can be aggravated by pregnancy or any kind of condition really. I was thinking like a heat pack would be fantastic, but I'm hoping this will do exactly the same job. I have no idea where you'd get something like this from. I really couldn't advise you. So I will find out, and I will let you know and try and link it below. But yeah, thank you, Grandad, for your Weird and Wonderful gifts. But this one is actually going to be amazing. I do also think sometimes people struggle with what to get people who are pregnant for Christmas. And so it's actually just a resort to like generic things that you think they might like. And for me, this year, they have been candles and chocolate. So, in actual fact, I have to be careful of these because these are actually open. I may well have started these already. And weirdly enough, before being pregnant, don't get me wrong, I'd never ever refused Cadbury's, and it's always been Cadbury's that I'll only ever go to. But I'd much prefer crisps. I've always much preferred, particularly onion rings. And whenever I've been given Maltesers, I've always ended up giving them to Mark to eat because I've never ever been that fussed on them. But since being pregnant, these are my chocolates of choice, and I'm going through them at quite a rate. Hence why they're open. So yes, thank you. So chocolate is going to be a winner for anybody if you don't know what to get them, but particularly if you can find out what their chocolate of choice is at that point in time, you're onto a double winner. And candles were the second thing. So this year I actually ended up with 21 candles under the tree, which actually, thankfully, I really like. I do like candles, and I like candles across the house, much to Mark's annoyance, all the time. I love 3 wick ones like this. So I've got a few smaller ones, which I don't tend to use as often, but I do like diffusers because I like to put them in things like the bathroom or in smaller rooms where the door is often shut. so like the cloakroom, downstairs toilet, upstairs toilet, that kind of thing. And I like big 3-wick ones like this because these smell great downstairs. They then, we've got a bit of an open plan downstairs, so I tend to put one in the living room, and then the fragrance kind of goes around downstairs, so that works really, really well in our house. So I was particularly glad when I got this 3-wick one rather than, like I say, I've got quite a few little ones, which are great. I will use them in the bathroom, I will use them across the house, but these and reed diffusers are my go-to thing. And again, you can't go wrong with a candle. Candles are great for all ages, and I think you can also do it for both sexes. I do think men secretly love a good candle. Mark says he doesn't, but I think he does really. So yeah, again, thank you to everyone who did get me a candle, and it's a great fail-safe of what to get people, really. And finally, obviously Bump isn't here yet, but we had a couple of gifts here which were really, really kind, addressed to the Bump. But one particular gift which actually meant a lot, because although the baby isn't here and it is meant for the baby, I think this is going to be more for me, because it's me who's going to get enjoyment from it. It's me who got the enjoyment from it this Christmas, who could actually unwrap it and look at it and go, oh my god, it's because it's going to be from my baby. It's going to be a little person in that next year. And that was a baby blanket. So fantastic idea. If you can find out what the mum or the parents to be colour scheme is and try and match in with that, which this does. Grey and cream is our colour scheme because we don't know what the baby is. Obviously we know it's a baby, we don't know what sex the baby is. Things like this are fantastic because these are often things that the parents haven't actually bought. They're focusing, or certainly we have been focusing on all of the big things: cots, changing units, prams, sterilisers, basically all the non-exciting stuff. And they're not cheap, so everything you've got is being thrown at them. Things like this don't get forgotten, but they are the nice extras that you then don't really get to, and probably don't even think to pick up because you're just focusing on all the the necessities that you have to get. So yeah, something like this, like I say, it's going to be probably more for me than for the baby until the baby's actually here. But it was really, really nice to unwrap this, and especially now at this stage in pregnancy where we're kind of now on the countdown to the final bit. We've had all the scans, we've had all the checks, and we're past the halfway mark. So yeah, it's literally downhill till baby time now. So yeah, this was really exciting to unwrap, and I really love it. And it goes well with that colour scheme. So again, perhaps actually think about, although it is for the baby, there are plenty of gifts you can get for mum-to-be, which are practical for the baby but also exciting for them. So things like a changing bag. If you can find out what their pram is like and kind of what their lifestyle is like. Do they want like a handbag style, rucksack style? You know, is it a colour scheme that you can then move into, or kind of buy something that blends in with that? Changing bags would be great, and blankets, little soft toys, anything like that. Just something that actually is quite exciting for and practical for the mum, but is also meant for the baby, would be really, really good. So all in all, I did get loads of other things. We're actually going to New York in less than a month now, so we got loads of things from New York, and we were really, really lucky. Like, all we had asked for was spending money when we go away, so the fact that we even got any presents is not what we were expecting at all. So we've been well and truly spoiled, and then the presents we got have been fantastic. But hopefully, for anyone who is buying presents for a future mum-to-be, or it'd be nice to see what presents other mums-to-be also got. Perhaps we got similar things, perhaps there are other ideas that they got, and we can share kind of, yeah, thoughts and things for the future, for future present buyers. But these gifts can also be ideas for things like baby showers, for Valentine's Day, for birthdays, all those kind of occasions. It doesn't just have to be for Christmas. It just happens to be that it was Christmas time for me. But I hope you've all had a really nice Christmas, and have eaten loads and loads of food as I have done. And then we'll catch up again soon. Thanks. Bye.